Let me introduce you to the first game I ever made. It's basically a game of hot potato, where the potato is unusually green and square. The longer you had the potato at the end of a minute, the higher your score. Which really confused some people, since high scores are usually a good thing. What was this game called? Bumpy Things Game. Good to see my naming conventions haven't changed since. I made it about 4 years ago over the span of about 3 months with vanilla Java and Eclipse. It's funny to think what took me 3 months to do back then I could now achieve in less than an hour. You'd think I'd be extremely proud of myself to be at the skill level I'm at today, but it doesn't work that way. Since then, my projects have ballooned in scope, and instead of seeing them for what they are, I tend to see them as shortcomings of what they could have been. The code for this game was terrible. Everything was hard-coded with no sort of modularity in sight. I read that you were supposed to use classes for similar objects, so I made identical classes for player 1 and player 2. I had no idea what I was doing, but yet I did it. Getting better at something just seems to highlight the areas you're bad at. You assume more things are just common knowledge. You look at other games and wonder, how the heck did they do that? And then wonder if they're wondering the same thing about yours. People always ask me how I got into game development. Actually, no they don't, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So I was browsing the interwebs for dank memes when all of a sudden I decided to Google search how to make games for Android. I had no intention of actually making one, I just wanted to see how they were made. I stumbled across this horrible Java tutorial that didn't even produce a working end product. I can only remember feeling frustrated as I spent the majority of the next 3 months filling in the gaps enough to crank out this wonderful piece of crap. I remember excitedly showing it to everyone I knew, which was like 3 people. They all gave me that sort of, oh cool, kind of response, which is like saying, this is crap, but I'm too polite to tell you. But that never really mattered to me. As of today, this remains the only game I've ever made that I can say I'm proud of. It feels different to go from nothing to something as opposed to good to slightly better. So if there's anything to take away from this video, it's that when the going gets tough, just remember that you suck.